Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new video in programming the finite element method using MATLAB. In this video, we are going to continue our efforts in the STR material by including it in the STR controller and having the ability for the controller to define, apply, and remove materials from STR lines. Now, in case you're wondering, this is part of a bigger video series about the finite element method. I will be linking at the top right. And also, if you stumbled upon this video by chance, this is part, and you're wondering basically how we got here, you will see a link to the playlist of all the MATLAB videos, also linked in the top right. Now, as usual, our dear member channels will have access to all the source code, but if you are not a channel member, then fear not. Every single line of code that is available to them will be written in front of you, so you can write along and enjoy the exact copy of the code. So yeah, without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Alright, so if I push F5 very quickly, you see that the last thing we reached is to define by hand the STR material and to report it. That's not what we want, because the reporting and the definition should be part of the controller rather than the user. Because the user is not expected to keep track of the ID, for example, and because I want to have a single controller as I follow the MVC programming paradigm, meaning that I try to separate between model, controller, and view. So we need to delegate this to the controller. So I will leave it for now, and I'm going to go to my STR controller here. Now here I finished the section region and the support region, so now we need a region for materials. Let's give it a separate region. So I'm going to say here, now this region thing is just for readability purposes. So material region kind of helps show different regions in the code. You can see that if you click, it gets highlighted, which is pretty nifty. Now here in the controller, I need to have a function that defines the material. So it will give back a material, and I'm going to say add str material. Once again, I need to pass the object reference of the controller because it's object-oriented programming. Then I need a name of the material and, of course, the elastic modulus, because that's the only things we need for materials. Here, I'm going to basically define my material. To define the material, I must generate a new ID, so the controller must keep track of the str material IDs it has defined, and it also must keep track of all the materials that have been defined. So now, first of all, I must increment the str material ID to become object.strMaterialID plus 1. You cannot put the plus here because that's not C++. Now here, I'm going to say ID equals the object.strMaterialID. And now I need to define the material using the constructor. So material equals strMaterial. It needs the ID. So let's pass in the ID. Let's pass in the name that the user passed in, and plus pass in the elastic modulus. Finally, I must say that the database, the new database, is going to equal the old database and the new material. And I think this should be the end of it. It must be included in the reporting system. So if I go down in the reporting system here, I'm going to copy that and basically add a section for the reporting system where I give it the materials. And it shall go through every single material that has been defined and report it. So this will become target material, and I'm going to report the target material. And let's see what happens. So now we need to take this for a spin. So here, this is material 1. This time, I'm not going to define it myself. I'm going to use the controller to define my str material, and this should be working like this. And I'm not going to report it here because the controller is going to report everything for me. Also, I'm going to define concrete here to kind of mix it up and have two materials. Now here, this is concrete, and it has, of course, 20 gigapascals, 10th of steel, almost. It might be 23. It depends on the type of concrete. Here, for the simplicity, I'm just going to say 20. All right, let's see what happens now. So if I push the F5 button, okay, there are no errors. That's good. And you can see that the two materials get defined, and they get reported. I think that's fantastic. However, that's not everything, because I also need to apply and remove the material from the line. So in the line here, the line also needs a material now, because besides the section, the line must know from what it is made of. So here I will say material, and this material needs to be added and removed, basically. So how do I do that? In the controller, let me go to the material region here. So I am going to have two functions. One of them is going to be apply material, where I take the material and apply it to the line. And of course here I don't need to pass in the object, but I'm gonna pass in the line and the material. Here I'm gonna basically say line.material is gonna equal the given material. Let me check if that's how I wrote it. Where is the line? Material, yes, I think that's correct. Then I need another function, which is basically delete material, like every time. So function delete material. Here I'm not gonna pass the object. I'm gonna say line and no materials because I'm just gonna delete the material. So in this case, I'm gonna say line.material equals nothing. That's not enough because in the reporting system of the line, I want also to mention now what the material is. Now here it's mentioning the section, but besides it, I want to mention the material. And I think the material should take precedence over the section. So I copy-pasted the section thing, but this time I'm gonna ask about the material. If the material is not an object, so basically if this is empty, so it's not an object, then it will say basically that material is, I don't know, NaN, or not assigned, NaNA. Otherwise, it will tell you what the material is, and it will basically tell you the object.material.name. So maybe this will be working. Only one way to find out. So I defined two materials here. Now I'm gonna apply me some materials. So first of all, let me say controller.apply material. And this time for line 1, I'm gonna apply the material one, which is gonna be steel, by the way. And for controller.apply material, I'm gonna for line 3 apply also the material one, which is also gonna be steel. And for, I don't know, any reason, I'm gonna say line 2 is gonna be material 2. So basically it's two steel columns and one concrete beam, which makes absolutely no sense. I just want to, I don't know, see what happens. So let's run it first. Let's take a look what happens now. So the nodes get reported. The lines get reported. This is steel, that's concrete, and that's steel. Fantastic. And then the materials get reported. This is absolutely fantastic. But now, of course, this is nonsense. So besides applying materials, let's try now remove the material. Delete, I think it's called. Delete material out of line 2 to see what happens in the reporting system if I run now. So when I run, you can see that line 2, you can see that line 2 has a material of Na. So that's exactly what it's supposed to be. And let's change it up and ask the controller to apply the material of steel on line 2, which makes sense because I want everything to be made out of steel. Let's push the F5 again and take a look on the report. And you can see that line 2 indeed is steel. So I think this is fantastic. And that's another mission complete, I guess. Let me just double check if I did everything right. We defined materials, we've added to the line, we added to the section, and the controller is able to add, remove, and delete materials. That's absolutely fantastic. I think we're done. So yeah, that's everything I wanted to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed. And in the end, I want to give a improved material-sized shout-out to my dear channel members in the contributor level and the helper level whose names are going to be shown on the screen. I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart, as their support of the channel is priceless to me and enables me to provide you with videos hopefully on time and with a certain quality I try to achieve, and for that I am forever thankful. In the end, I hope that you enjoyed the video and you found it beneficial. If you have enjoyed the video, then please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, and so on, especially subscribing because it helps increase the reach of my channel. As per usual, this is the Civil Engineering Essentials channel, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.